Quadratic graphs have 2 intersections max, right? Cubic graphs have 3 intersections max. What's a quartic graph going to have? 4. So, if you were to draw a quartic graph, it's going to look like a W. Something like that. Or to that effect. This is the function of a quartic graph will be ax to the power of 4 plus bx cubed plus cx squared plus dx plus e. You're looking at this. If this is positive, then you're going to have this W shape. If that is negative, then it's going to look something like that, where it's just going to be flipped upside down. That's it. Now, if you haven't already, I would suggest watching the video on cubic graphs, because that's going to explain how you go about answering these questions. If you have watched it already, or you just want to give these a go, I would say try them. Try question 2A and 2C, and then I will go through it with you. Okay, so for A, we are going to make the function equal to 0. X plus 2, x minus 1, x squared minus 3x plus 2. We're going to make that equal to 0. We want to factorize the bracket on the right. And when we do that, we get x minus 2, x minus 1 equals 0. We can simplify this as x minus 1 squared and then x minus 2. I guess that's optional. You don't necessarily have to do that. But I chose to in this case. What are the values of x going to be then? This one is going to give you minus 2. This one is going to give you 1. And that's going to give you 2. Where this is a repeated unit, meaning it's just going to touch at x equals 1. At every other point, it's going to be an intersection. And remember, at no point here, here, or here do we have a negative x, right? So we can be confident that our x to the power of 4 is going to be positive, which means we end up with that W shape. So it's going to intersect at minus 2, it's going to touch at 1, and it's going to intersect at 2. Now, let's take it a step further, because we know that it's going to intersect the y-axis at some point. Let's find out when that point is. We worked out the values of x when y equals 0. So all of this is when y equals 0. So we can work out y when x equals 0. So can you try that? Can you try subbing in x equals 0 into this function? So whatever's inside the bracket, all those x's, make that equal to 0. What would that result in? That's going to give you minus 4. 2 times minus 1 times 2 gives you minus 4. So it's going to intersect minus 4 there. So when we draw our quartic graph, it's going to cross at -2. It's going to cross at -4 on the y-axis. It's going to touch at 1, and then it's going to go through 2. Do you see how I still have that W shape? Cool. C. X minus 4 all squared. X squared minus 11x plus 30 equals 0. Let's factorize the second bracket. When we do that, we get x minus 5 and x minus 6 equals 0. So this will give us x equals 4. This gives us x equals 5. This gives us x equals 6. Where this is going to touch because it's a repeated root. Can you try and find the point where it intersects the y-axis? Those are all the points where it intersects the x-axis. Where is it going to intersect the y-axis? It's going to intersect the y-axis when x equals 0. When x equals 0, y is going to be minus 4 squared times 30, which gives you 480. So, when we draw, or also, this is positive, this is positive, so we're going to have a W. Okay, so we've got 480 somewhere here, we've got 4, we've got 5, we've got 6. It's going to go through 480, it's going to touch at 4, let's pretend it does there we go. It's going to go through 5, it's going to go through 6. There we go. That's how that quartic graph looks like. And that's basically quartic graphs. I hope that made sense. If it didn't, watch it back another time, or watch it back however many times you want.